My first memory was of agony. My throat had long since swollen, leaving only enough of an opening for me to gasp painful breaths. I remember the heat, my body baking in the bed as I slowly fell to the strangulation disease, or as we all know it to be now, diphtheria. I was born in Spain at the turn of the 17th century. My family was large at one point. This I do know to be true, since I saw the beautifully done portraits with my mother and her many children. In the end, I would be the last of their children who would live during the year of strangulations. It wasn't the best look on their part. I'm female, and at the time society thought that I had little use beyond marriage, birthing children, and being something beautiful to look at. But I am intelligent. I have a good mind for numbers and arithmetic. But rumours are what they will be. As I grew up, despite being beautiful, no one wished to marry me. I had survived the year of strangulations. I survived the illnesses that summer brought on. I survived the pox with minimal scarring. I survived bad water, bad air, bad humours. I survived a bite from a surely rabid dog and did not fall to the hydrophobic madness. I survived when thousands did not. I contracted everything, but for whatever reasons, being blessed by God or cursed by the devil, I survived. By the time I reached my 30th year, I still looked as young and rosy as I did on my 16th. I was seemingly perpetually youthful. I was hearty and strong. I prayed to God. I scoured my flesh with whips and hair shirts. I wore a cilice around my thigh that ached with every step I took. I spent hours in the chapel, confessed every single sin that I could have possibly committed. I fasted. I abstained from meat and wine. I ate bland and flavourless food. I walked barefoot and gave to charity. I cut my hair and wore shapeless rough-spun dresses to cast away vanity. I washed the feet of lepers. I took care of the sick and dying. I became so close to our Lord in his word and command, but still, I had no answer. I believe in retrospect that my well-known religious fervour is the only thing that saved me from being accused of witchcraft. I moved from my home to England when I was 40. I still looked young and healthy. In truth, I hadn't really aged at all. Years passed, and with each one came a new and horrible sickness. I contracted the King's Evil, the French pox, the sweating sickness, fevers upon fevers. Still, I lived. Eventually, I came to America around the 1850s. I had long since lost my faith in God, and grew a new resentment for the people around me. Those who would live a normal life, those who would die, those who would perish when a new plague came. And they always did, always. Scarlet fever, typhoid, a resurgence of the illness of my first memories, polio, HIV and AIDS, everything. Times changed, and I was able to go to school. I decided to become an epidemiologist. I graduated at the top of my class and got an amazing job with the CDC. I learned about all of the illnesses that had plagued my long existence and figured out how they worked. I became to understand that what I so foolishly once thought of as a curse was actually a blessing. While I had contracted all of these things, I also gained immunity. But that was until 2 months ago. We received a sample of a bacteria that was found in the melting ice in Alaska. As soon as I could, I exposed myself to this thing and waited. Within 2 days, I felt as if I was coming down with a run-of-the-mill influenza. I had this countless times, and I knew from experience that was often the precursor to many things. Within a few more days, I found myself here. I am bedridden right now, and seem to be progressing rapidly. My joints are stiff, my muscles are weak, and I'm starving. I can hear the pounding heartbeat of my cat, my neighbours, people who walk by my house. I can smell them. I can taste them on the air. And God help me, if I were not so weak, I think I would have killed one of them. I fell into a deep sleep for a few days, dreamless and awful. Last night, I felt my heart stop. It hasn't restarted, and the urge to do harm is stronger and more visceral. I don't know what this is, but God, I know whatever it is, it scares me. My colleague emailed me this morning. There are cases of people coming down with this in the area the bacteria was found. 7 people have since fallen into a comatose state after experiencing intense migraines. Their family and close contacts are now reporting flu-like symptoms. They weren't able to reach my 3 other colleagues who were directly exposed to this thing, but they also had flu-like symptoms before taking off for a few days to rest and minimise exposure. 172 people are currently infected. It has just passed the boundary of state lines, and with at least one person we knew, it was carried into a major city. There's nothing official yet, but please, if you wish to have any shot of surviving this, wash your hands. Cover your mouth when you sneeze or have to cough. If you feel onset flu symptoms, stay home and bar yourself from other people when the headaches start and you hear the pounding of the heartbeats. I want you to do whatever you must do to stop it.
Always remember to wash your hands. Was written by Melanie B. and narrated by Puka.